Hi. So yeah, this is a little change to the schedule on the agenda. We know it's late in the afternoon, so we're going to do something a little bit light-hearted, a little personal data project of mine. I was going to call it Saving the World, Solving the Climate Crisis and Cost of Living Crisis in Half a Day, but I thought that might be sort of setting expectations a bit high, so instead we're going to talk about using web data to visualize and analyze EPC ratings. Just going to do like a little fun thing to show off smart spiders and to try and create a sort of scalable market intelligence pipeline. Okay, just using some of the tools you've already seen. Okay, so I'm Daniel. I'm the head of product marketing here at Zeit. I've been in this game on and off for 10 years. And I've got Neha with me, developer advocate for Zeit, taking part in helping the community, and has set the Discord up. That hope you've all seen. And I kind of wish I was a data journalist. I was a front-end engineer 10 years ago, and since then I've moved into marketing. Boo. And I'm always harassing Neha for data to do bits of content, blog posts, all that sort of thing. And so when I seen this particular stat come up, that on average, you know, fridge freezers take up 16 to 18% of your household energy bill, I kind of, my ears picked up because I've just built a new kitchen and I've got an F-rated fridge in there, and I was kind of thinking, what? Like, I don't even want to leave my light bulb on longer than I have to because I'm sort of your typical dad, and I've got one of those smart meters and you can see your electricity sort of ticking up minute by minute. So I was thinking, this can't be right. Why are people buying F-rated EPC ratings? An EPC rating is an energy performance certificate, so a low rating means it costs a lot to run, a high rating means not so much. So I sort of thought, well, can I examine the interplay of EPC ratings, costs, return on investments, just as a sort of a small project to see, like what's going on here? And on the surface, it seems quite simple, but once you dive in, do a few data visualization, or I say when Neha had done some data visualizations, it became interesting. We found some insights and maybe some recommendations that the EPC guys might want to take up, and maybe a recommendation for the government, how they could maybe even help improve the scenario, reduce their CO2 targets and things like that. So I basically asked Neha a bunch of questions. Can we gather some data to answer those questions? And can we analyze and visualize them in a useful way? We needed things like pricing, EPC ratings. Those are all on e-commerce websites. I'm sure you've seen them. Brand names, the power consumption, the price of electricity, because that's crazy at the minute, particularly in the UK. And how much CO2 it costs to generate that electricity, because I thought that might be interesting if you're just trying to do an analysis to see what's going on, find any interesting things. I wanted that data from multiple websites. In today's example, I'm going to show you the template spider system. I say I again. Neha's going to show you that system again, but using it on a real-world website and in a real-world customization. So I thought, great, 3 websites. Get the data, compare the price to the EPC rating, visualize it, great, that'll be an interesting story. But this kind of happened. in the old world, you know, of it taking days to make a scraper, setting up a stack. So I was like, okay, right. What can we do in half a day? Is it realistic to get some data, to get it into Tableau, to analyze it, and to find something that's somewhat useful? It's not going to be an in-depth data analysis like the stuff you've been seeing all day today. But I thought it would be interesting to see what we could do. And then hopefully, if we can do it in half a day, imagine what you could do in a week, 2 weeks with a dedicated team with some domain knowledge. So I'll hand you over to Neha, and she'll show you how she dealt with my outrageous requests and show you that smart spider system in action.
Yep.
Okay? So I'll pop that. You're going to share your laptop screen, and I'll get out the way.
Yeah. Now, it's going to sound like a Murakami novel story, but just stay with me. I'll get back to the demo. So in India, sorry. Yeah. Can you put on the slides, please? Yeah. I'll put on the demo again. Yeah, thank you. So day before yesterday in India, we celebrated a festival called Vijayadashmi. Okay? And on the day of the festival, we celebrate tools. tools that help us create, tools that help us craft, and earn our livings from. And I'm a big fan of systems thinking tools and tools for thought. So when Dan came up with these requests, so my mind started thinking about all the systems, all the elements that can go in this project, right? And I tend to visualize my projects like this. And there's a web data collection piece of it. And it's clear to me when I visualize the project that the goal is not just to extract fridges and freezers data from 3 online retailers, but to clean that data, analyze it, visualize it. I don't know how I'm going to do it in half a day. and there are like multiple tangible and intangible components at play. And if I just take the web data collection part of it, that's how like my systems thinking mind goes in. So with crawling at its core, right, it's interacting with proxy management solution. Crawling is interacting with data extraction solution, and the browser automation solution for the dynamic web content. And browser automation is interacting with anti-ban solution to deal with the hard stuff. And this entire feedback is given back to the crawling. And this entire system is deployed on Scrapy Cloud, like a cloud infrastructure. And then there are monitoring systems in place to see if there is any need to change in the crawling strategy, and hence the data extraction part of it. Now, definitely, if I go up setting up this project, it will easily take me 2 months to set up with this legacy system. And I'm not going to talk, and as I said, like, what are my options now? How can I build a sustainable, extensible, and reusable system that will help, that will take the load, do the hard stuff, fulfill Dan's wishes, and makes my life easier. And there comes a powerful tool like Zeit API, right? I'm not going to go in detail because Ian and Adrian has done a really good job in explaining what Zeit API can do. But I'll straight away go to the demo and showcase what I've done. Yeah, the screen, please. Yeah, thank you. So this is AO.com. Now, I have, if you remember Adrian's slide, there was this e-commerce template, and I could have easily extended that template for this solution, but I needed to do a bit of a customization here because I needed the EPC rating for the data analysis, and it's present in the product name. So I customized this template. As you can see on the screen, I've just extended the e-commerce spider template and not written anything, not written any code, just extended the template, but written this small customization using regex, which extracts the EPC rating from the product name. And for the sake of simplicity, I deployed the code already. I deployed the template already, and you were seeing Adrian's screen with just the e-commerce template, and now I have the AO.com, right? So I can just name fridges and freezers, and just give the URL. Okay, maybe just the default. I can save this template and run, right? And yeah, so while it is running, I was pretty sure that my struggle doesn't end here. Dan's gonna definitely ask me for the dishwasher again. So I wanted to make my job easier, and I don't want to write the code. So this, guess what? The same template, I can use it to extract the dishwasher as well. And I don't have to write any code for it. And meanwhile, I can just pull tableaus. So I just straight away, I just straight away pulled the data in the Tableau and ran some analysis did some visualization, cleaning, and wrote some of the formulas to do the hard analysis. And Dan will talk about in detail about the analysis that we have found and the insights, cool insights we have found through this data. Oh, sorry. Can we get off the screen, please? Yeah. I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I think you've sort of shown how you got me the data there.
Yeah.
And sort of pointed that I'm a bit annoying, and I'm probably going to want to extend this and do it with something else as well.
With the freezer. So Dan, meanwhile it is running, can you showcase the visualizations? Can I get back the slides, please?
So what was quite interesting and nice there is just built one template, and now if I want to go and get the some different data, I can take that template and build a second spider without having to bother Neha at all, which is kind of cool, okay? Or at least I think it is, and I will be extending this project, so that's a good shout. Okay, so now that I've got the data back, I'm just going to run through some of the visualizations super quick so you can see what we did with that data. So you can see, as I explained earlier, ratings across the bottom, energy usage, nice smooth curve. If you introduce pricing data into this, which we didn't have before, okay, well, that's not as smooth of a curve, so we've instantly got some sort of asymmetry between those two curves, so that's kind of interesting. And if you look at it slightly differently, we can see the price to upgrade for each step in this rating system. So going from an F to an E costs you an extra £185 on average. But going from an E to a D is going to cost you £2 more on average. Going from a D to a C is £36. Like, this is actually quite interesting, right? If we look at how much money you would save per year at the rate of 34 pence per unit, as it was at the time, during a cost of living crisis, it was like, oh, okay, that would only take 0.07 years to pay off the additional cost of increasing one step. And these are all insights I couldn't have got without putting the pricing next to the EPC rating. I thought that was quite interesting as well. And because I like bubble charts, and I know nobody in the room likes them, but they're a rubbish way of presenting data. But I thought if we look at the entire market, what does the marketplace look like if we're trying to do some market research? In the yellow, you can see the number of F-rated appliances available. As you get further and further in, further up, people make less and less and less of these. And it's kind of, the choices there are a lot less at the top range. So that might help explain why people aren't buying them too. If we think of 0.1 kilograms of CO2, we can start charting that out, and we start thinking, well, the UK has CO2 emission targets. If you were going to invest some money to try and bring those CO2 emissions down, maybe this is a good place to invest some money. If you can give people £2 to upgrade to the next one as a loan, perhaps, then maybe that's a good way to look at it. And the time it takes to pay that back would be interesting. Out of the 4 brands, as you've seen before, actually I think there's 4 of them made a A-rated appliance. So again, it's this dichotomy of choice. Manufacturers don't make the higher rated appliances, and nobody buys them, so they stay expensive. So people don't buy them, so they stay expensive, so nobody buys them. Get where I'm going with that. So I thought, using this information, it's only meant to be a small little analysis, but if we look at the labeling of EPC for items, there isn't really a good way of telling how long will it take for me to repay my increased investment in this, my capital outlay, because it's not a linear relationship. So I would propose that education and incentivization around this would be a good thing to do. Perhaps the creation of some sort of digital EPC certificate that could take into account the cost of upgrading based on real-world prices. You know, it would help government meet their goals. It would put less stress on our energy infrastructure. It would help citizens save money year on year in a time where cost of living is pretty damn expensive. So it would be my recommendation to any government people in here, which I don't know if we have any, that maybe a £2 loan could help them help citizens, could help them meet their targets and generally be good for the environment. Where would you target that incentivization? Well, personally, that seems like a good spot if you were to incentivize people to buy D-rated instead of E-rated. That wouldn't cost you much, and it'd be a win-win-win for everybody. So that was my version of Zero to Insights in less than a day. It did take less than a day, which is why it's not incredibly in-depth, but I've got no domain expertise here. And we had no budget, we had no time. So I think coming up with something like that is a good little introduction to what is possible. Hopefully using this spider system, I will be able to go and run and not need to bother Neha anymore. So I hope you enjoyed my little presentation, and do try Smart Spiders out, because I think it's a really good way to get lots of data fast. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, Neha.
Thank you. Can you talk about the Discord? We will send the email.
Yes.
Okay, so I think this is a really great example of some of the themes that we've been talking about all day, and we're seeing lots of different really complicated use cases. We're seeing lots of simple use cases, but
I cut that slide out. Sorry.
but I'm going to maybe ignore the top one. But some of this, the power of being able to get data and remove some of the problems that are traditionally kind of ratcheting up over the last few years is a really powerful kind of capability to figure out what fridge you should buy.
Well, I can answer that top question.
All right,
So I think if you're looking at the data, I mean, where's your biggest bang for buck? That was actually one of my initial questions. If I'm going to spend the money, well, you can go from that E-rated to the D. It's going to cost you £2. You're going to get the biggest savings. But actually, anywhere across that level is going to be great. If that machine's going to last for 10 years, it doesn't really matter where you go, it's going to pay for itself. So this next question is funny.
Well, I was going to skip the next question, but
no, that's fine.
We can ask the next question. All right,
no, I did this study. We used there was an XPath you could write for that website, and you can get the energy rating, and you can calculate the actual cost for usage, and then you can adjust it for the size of the fridge. The reason we picked fridge freezers because they're on all day, every day, and it's kind of easy to chart out how much it's going to cost you, how much you're going to save. So yes, what we're going to do on the Discord is continue doing this. I'm going to expand it out. We're going to add more websites, we're going to get more data, compare countries, add fridge sizes, and all of that sort of stuff. So please do join me. I'm going to be doing it on the Discord anyway. So if you want to join in, have a bit of fun, have some office hours with Neha, learn the system, then we'd love to see you there to do that.
Yes, anything.
I'm going to ask a couple of questions about this last one here. Just, I suppose it's to do with, not only the tools that you use, but also just, the barriers that you kind of hit in your, in-depth one-day project. Like if there was anything that, like what, just give us some insights into, the challenges, or, how easy was it to do this?
I mean, it was literally like I had to extend that spider, just clone a GitHub repository, run it, I had it on my system, deploy it on the Scrapy cloud, and that's it, to be honest. It was that simple. You can just put the URL in and get the data, and honestly, I didn't even have to spend like 80% of my time, as they say, to clean it. I know, like, it's just 3 websites, and I knew like what kind of hypotheses I want to draw from the data because I had the questions ready. So it's quite clear on what I want, and that's it. I think with this spider template, with the template system, I was able to do it, get it in like half a day, all the data, and straight away upload it to Tableau and do the analysis, do the things that matter,
And just for clarification, for this, you don't need to use any of them kind of hardcore machine learning annotations or anything like that. That stuff is all kind of built in, and we take care of that behind the scenes.
Yeah.
This was the stuff, the Smart Spider stuff that Ian and Adrian demoed this morning. Just kind of used in a different use case. All right. Well, thank you, guys.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you.